On 16 December 1971, a new nation stood free for the first time and joined the other countries of the world as equals. The ashes of war made way for a tumultuous hero's welcome. As Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman set foot on a liberated Bangladesh for the first time. As he set about rebuilding his war-torn nation, it was a mere 4 months later that the Republic of Korea extended its hand of friendship and recognition to the new country. In December 1973, South Korea established formal diplomatic relations with Bangladesh, and Korea's ambassador to India, Mr. Lo Shin-young, traveled to Bangladesh for the occasion. Accompanying him was none other than Ban Ki-moon, who would, 35 years later, become the 8th Secretary General of the United Nations.
At the time, I accompanied then Ambassador Lo Shin-young to Bangladesh on the important occasion of the establishment of Korea-Bangladesh diplomatic relations. I still vividly remember this signing ceremony, which established our two countries' bilateral relations.
Ambassador Lo would subsequently become Foreign Minister of South Korea in 1980 and served as Prime Minister of South Korea from 1985 to 1987. Nowhere has the impact of the cooperation between the two countries been felt more than that of Bangladesh's ready-made garments industry. Today, the RMG industry in Bangladesh is a multi-billion-dollar manufacturing powerhouse, which is the second largest on the planet.
Actually, RMG has been the center of our bilateral business ties. Past 5 decades, we have developed very strong ties and partnership in every field. Korea is the 5th largest foreign investor in Bangladesh.
It all began when Mr. Nurul Kader, a former civil servant turned businessman, met Kim Woo-chung, the founder and chairman of Korea's Daewoo Corporation. The two struck a deal to collaborate on a 100% export-oriented clothing manufacturing factory in Chittagong, Bangladesh, which Mr. Kader called Desh Garments.
One of the renowned person, his name is Nurul Kader Khan. He started in the name of Desh Garments. But actually, in a formal way, I can say that Desh Garments is the first factory who started this business in a big way. And that time we knew that this profession, this RMG sector, South Korea is the pioneer in this line. The production and the new system of production, Korea started doing this thing.
So one day I heard that Mr. Kim, the president of Daewoo company, is visiting my house and we'll have a meeting with my husband. After that, whatever my husband and his colleagues or his directors, executive director, they had a meeting, and I heard that they are going to visit South Korea. So after South Korea, when they came back, I heard that he is going to start a business with a Korean company, Daewoo, and Mr. Kim and my husband and his associates, that they are going to visit Korea.
Under the terms of the agreement, Daewoo would provide technical skills and knowledge transfer by training Bangladeshi workers and technicians in Korea.
In our country, the production system is like the Korean system. It is a line system. So that is the system we follow. Till date, we follow this system, line production.
A total of 133 people were chosen by Desh Garments to go to Korea for training, including 18 women.
The first advertisement for taking the trainees, it was published in a newspaper. After that, they have went into details work of how to take the trainees, how to send them, and how to involve the women, especially the girls in those days. So they went all this process and procedure.
It was around this time that Ki Hak-sung, the chairman of Youngwon Corporation, visited Bangladesh for the first time.
I remember it was sometime May of 1979. It was my first visit to the country. I thought there were eagerness to attract some investment, though infrastructure there was, as you may well know, not ready for this kind of industry. But anyway, we have decided to make a small investment, and we started the production already in May of 1 year since then. May of 1980, already this factory in Agrabad, rented factory in Agrabad, started production for Swedish market.
Thus, Korea's Youngwon Corporation became the first foreign investor in Bangladesh's garments industry. From that beginning, Youngwon's rapid growth would be illustrative to the entire industry's expansion.
The government, I remember, wanted to move all foreign investment into this designated area as which was the export processing zone. So we have decided to move on, and when we started, there was no export processing zone.
The growth of the industry in these early days was remarkable. According to the World Bank, the RMG industry in 1981 accounted for 0.5% of all Bangladeshi exports, rising rapidly to 28.2% in 1987, just 6 years later. The next innovation in the industry, private EPZs, would soon start, also due to a Bangladesh-Korea collaboration.
I think it was a very early part of 1990s, that we thought our production base in EPZ, government EPZ, was not enough.
The government of Bangladesh granted Youngwon almost 2,500 acres of barren land in Chattogram to start KEPZ, the Korean EPZ. As a part of the conditions of receiving the land, Youngwon committed to the rehabilitation of the barren land and set aside 52% as an ecological zone. More than 4 decades after the garments industry began in Bangladesh with Korean assistance, things have come full circle, with Bangladeshis now in leadership positions in Korean garments operations around the world. BUFT, the University of Fashion and Technology of the Bangladesh Garment Manufacturers and Exporters Association, now trains the next generation of skills in the garments industry in Bangladesh.
So one of our university in the name of BGMEA University, BUFT, Fashion and Technology. So we follow the system, and I went to Korea also for an agreement with some Korean university to get education and send our students for fashion and this technology. So few years back, about 4.5 years back, I had an agreement with one university of Korea, where we are sending students from our BGM University for further training in fashion and technology. So that is also a good side, because that shows that Korea is really well ahead of us in this fashion, technology and these things. So that is also really appreciated.
Korean companies were also at the forefront of introducing compliance with international labor regulations, safety, and other global standards. Today, Korean companies continue to be a major stakeholder in the RMG sector in Bangladesh. Throughout the years, many other Korean companies have made their mark in Bangladesh's RMG industry. These companies continue being an integral part of the industry, providing world-class corporate leadership and being ethical, responsible members of the business and industrial community in Bangladesh. Now more than 85 Korean RMG companies are operating in Bangladesh, employing around 150,000 Bangladeshi workers across the country. South Korea remains the 5th largest foreign direct investor in Bangladesh, totaling some $1.3 billion. Of this, more than $900 million has been invested in the RMG industry alone, by far the largest investment of any country. From 100 years of Mujib to 50 years of Bangladesh, South Korea looks back at almost 100 years of cultural ties, 5 decades of friendship, close business cooperation, and joint peace and prosperity. We have no doubt our shared futures will hold as much promise and achievement as the road already walked together.